everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited to talk with one of our all-star actors here. We're talking with Andrew Bushell. And Andrew, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy.
Yeah, this is so fun. So what we like to do with new guests is we like to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get into acting.
Okay. My name is Andrew Bushell. I was inspired to get into acting since I was a little kid. I probably was like maybe around 13 years old when I first knew that I wanted to be an actor. And that was from my dad. We used to just sit on the couch and watch movies. And I thought it was so cool that you, as an actor, get to experience so many different careers. You get to travel places. You get to do all kinds of different things. So I'm from a place called Sherwood Park, Alberta. And that was like, it was kind of like a lot of these places in these Christmas movies. Small town. It's in like the middle of Canada, and we lived out on an acreage. I'd work on my friend's farm after school, and so I grew up there. And I eventually went to the University of Alberta, and then after 2 years, I moved to Toronto when I was 19 because I decided I wanted to seriously pursue acting, and I couldn't do it from there. So it took a while, but eventually, after many classes and persistence and consistency, I was able to finally break into the scene. And luckily, these movie of the weeks have been one of my main kind of mainstays in my career, which I feel very lucky because they're fun to do. They're relatively short compared to a lot of the other films, and you work with teams that are tight knit and they know each other well, and it feels like a little family when you're doing it.
Well, like 12 to 15 days, right?
Yep.
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tight and it's long days and it's like hard work, but honestly a lot of fun usually.
Yeah. So what did your family all think of this, with you being from like small town kind of thing, like they see on TV? That got to be amazing.
Oh, well, yes, initially not so amazing. Initially people thought, what is he doing? Where is he going? Is he out of his mind? And I think they expected me to be back in a week, but when that turned into months and that turned into years, I think they gave up on me coming back. Yeah, exactly. But now that I'm working and, starring in movies and whatnot, they've changed their tune. Everyone's very happy and proud of me.
Yeah. Did they have like a viewing party for either of these ones?
They do.
Yeah.
I get messages from my friends saying, "Oh, we're watching your movies," or my family sends little stills over Instagram or on the internet text.
That's so cool. Yeah. So when you were going to school in Toronto, did you do any plays or anything like that?
Actually, I didn't do any plays. Not really, but I ended up going to Second City. Are you familiar with Second City?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I took Second City classes and I took a lot of improv classes. And during the pandemic, I actually got onto their main stage, which has incredible alumni. And so I became a Second City main stage alumni after I think I've done improv for just over 10 years now. So that was a huge accomplishment. Yeah.
Well, that must have helped you a lot in All I Didn't Want for Christmas.
Absolutely, it
did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll ask you more about that. Yeah. But do you remember the first role that you ever got on screen?
The first role I ever got was on a show called Being Erica. It's a Canadian show. I think it aired in the States as well. And it was about a woman who time travels back and forth and relives different parts of her lives. And my role was rush number one. I was I think I was a university freshman, and I forget what I played. Yeah, but it wasn't a big role. I think there was one line in it, but I do remember it because I was so excited about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're still probably stoked.
Yeah.
For your first role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody should have that like moment where you're that thing you do moment where you're just freaking out. Like,
yeah. I was definitely excited, even though my character name had a number in it. Rush number one. But at least I wasn't rush number two. I don't know who rush number two was, but it wasn't me.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
You were in Twinkle All the Way, which is one of my faves. I love that movie. Yeah. I mean, what was your role in that?
I was the one getting married, and
you were the
Sarah
groom.
Drew's character,
Okay.
yes. And
Yeah.
Sarah Drew, who was so nice and so kind. I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy, so honestly, I didn't know that she was like the big star that she is. And but she was so kind, so lovely, and like made it so easy.
Yeah. Well, I loved the wedding in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was so like perfect. And when they revealed the view that they made, oh, so good.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just so like community and everybody coming together to make it happen. And I just, as opposed to like a lot of weddings in movies can feel a little bit like, I don't know, the whole bridezilla thing, just not for me. But this was like the opposite. They were just like, let's do it. Let's make it work.
Yeah. They wanted the wedding to happen.
Yeah.
They were, and got everyone involved. I believe it was a while ago. It was snowed in, right?
Yeah. They were snowed in. In the school. And so they had to I think ice cream sandwiches from the school and to make the wedding cake and things.
Yeah.
They just made it work, which I love. I think that's
loved
cute.
it.
Yeah. Love that. Yes. So what was your first lead that you ever got?
Okay. So I don't know if it counts as a lead, but I was number 2 on it, but I wasn't the romantic interest. It was Christmas Catch, which was with Emily Atalo, and I played her cop partner. And so I was technically the lead, but I wasn't the romantic interest lead.
Okay.
Yes. Franco Lopresti. I don't know if you've had him on the podcast, but he was the romantic lead.
We haven't had him on, but we do love him.
He's great.
He won us over last Christmas with his two Christmas movies were so good. So
he's very nice.
Christmas
too.
Catch.
Yeah, that one was great because when I filmed it, it went out, but then 2 years later it came out on Netflix, and that did wonders for me because it got so many views.
Yeah.
But I think my first lead was romantic lead was Love at Sky Gardens. I'm not sure if you've seen that one.
I haven't.
That one I play an event planner, and I'm trying to look for a perfect kind of wedding venue, and then I meet a person who wants to be kind of like a rooftop gardener, like landscaper, and we meet and I fall in love with her, of course. And it also makes for the perfect event space, and everything comes together.
That looks cute. I'm gonna have to watch that.
That one actually stars Jenny Raven, who's wonderful. And we met when my first year here, I was 19. I did my first commercial ever with her. And then over a decade later, we ended up being love interests in the movie, which was such a nice surprise. We've been friends for such a long time.
Yeah, well, it's such a community up there in Canada. I feel like.
Yes.
Don't want to burn any bridges up there, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, so you ended up with the 2 leads in 2022.
Yes.
And that must have been very exciting to really transition.
It was incredible. And
yeah,
two like movies I really liked. And I got to work with an Academy Award nominee on All I Didn't Want for Christmas. And I got to say, Gabourey Sidibe is one of the most talented, fun, down-to-earth, and hardworking people I've met in this entire industry. Like, it's no wonder she gets all the critical acclaim.
Yeah, I love her. I loved the movie. It was hilarious. It was in my top 10 of Christmas 2022. And I really wasn't expecting, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I'm hit and miss with like the parody movies, you know, that it's like they don't really get the appeal of the films. And I feel like when you do a parody film, you kind of have to start in a place of love and then riff on it. And then so that's when it works. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to like, you know, kind of hurt the genre. I think they took a spin up, like took a little twist on it and like kind of allowed the genre to still happen rather than being like, oh, here's our version. But it was very much in loving care of that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Record Breaking Christmas. So you were working with Michelle in that one. We had her on. She's super fun. That must have been a fun set to work on.
Very fun. That was up in Ottawa, and yes, Michelle was very sweet right off the bat. She, while we were staying in the hotel before we even started filming, we had a nice chat in the lobby, and we got to know each other a little bit. And she told me about her experience working, and I told her about mine, and just kind of how we both like to work. Like she's very, very thoughtful, very kind.
Were you at all nervous, like your first leading in one of these Christmas movies? Going into it, or were you confident?
I was I will honestly say, because I've been doing things here and there, I was pretty confident. I always memorize the script inside and out before I even start. So I was ready to go. And some of the crew I also knew at the time, because like you said, it's a small community up here, so you get to see some familiar faces. So I felt pretty good. I felt like I was in good hands. And like talking with Michelle, I didn't get the sense that it was going to be difficult working with her or anything like that.
Yeah. So if you were going to set out to break a world record, what would you pick? What do you think you have like the biggest chance of breaking?
Okay, maybe I love traveling. So maybe like a travel record, like visiting the most of a certain kind of site, like the most world wonder. Or no, there's only so many world wonders.
There are like travel ones though. I remember when Jimmy Kimmel was doing his show in LA and doing the show with he was filling in for Regis. This was years ago.
Oh yeah.
So he was going to New York and LA and New York and LA every single day, and or something like that. And he got a world record for the most commute ever.
Back and forth.
Yeah. Again, this was years ago. So there are those kinds of world records.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe as I get older, I'll be like the oldest traveler. most countries visited after 80 or something.
Yeah, you could be like the oldest person to like be at the North Pole or something like that.
Exactly.
I bet you those records about that.
There's got to be. But yeah, a travel-based record. Yeah, I think that would be it.
Yeah. That would be good. That'd be good. They were creative coming up with the ones for the movie. The only thing I didn't like about the movie was that I felt like she shouldn't be made to feel bad for enforcing the rules on the records. Like that's her job. She was doing her job. Yeah, like I'm like, it's not her fault they didn't break it.
I agree. And there was a few I'm like, where our town should have tried a little harder, like a few more. Someone should have looked over those cards, the Christmas cards with the toad. What was it? Like a toad and a chameleon or something like that, instead of the frog. Or so
I'm like, it's not her fault.
No,
it's hard to set a world record. Like it's not easy. That's why it's a world record.
And honestly, she sets that straight in the beginning of the film. So
yeah. So, but I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was something new. Like it's hard to think of something new for these movies that hasn't been done. You know, the girl going the city girl going to the country. We've seen a million times, or something like
Yes.
that. And it's hard to come up with something new. And so that was fun about it. And you said it was filmed in Ottawa?
It was filmed in Ottawa. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it in the summer? So were you roasting?
Yes, it was in the summer. I've done a few of these in the summer now. I was so prepared. I told them, whatever you dress me in, please make it look like winter, but like as thin as possible. So I wasn't roasting as much as usual. Sometimes I watch these movies, and if I can tell they're summer, I'm looking for like the beads of sweat pouring down people's faces.
Yeah, or they're like supposed to be in Alaska and they have their jacket like completely open, no scarf. I'm like,
yeah,
probably not.
I think Record Breaking Christmas was guilty of that a couple times.
So for All I Didn't Want for Christmas, did you self-tape for this, or did they come to you, or how did you get this role?
That was actually, I don't know if I can say, but a popular 90s R&B singer dropped out. I can't say who. And yes, and then I was lucky enough to be offered the role, I think based on some other stuff that they had seen previously. And so I gladly swooped in there, and I took the train up to Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky. If that singer hadn't dropped out, I wouldn't have had this wonderful role.
Oh wow, the intrigue.
Yeah. One of your viewers, your listeners will have to like hunt down who dropped out.
Yeah, put in the comments if y'all find out. We want to know. But it was such a great cast. I mean, you must have been just so excited to be involved. Like you said, Gabby, Loretta Devine. Oh my gosh, she's
Rachel. I was over the moon. And Kel Mitchell. That was like someone I watched on Nickelodeon when I was a kid. So seeing all these people that like I had previously looked up to and wanted to work with, and Loretta Devine has like been in every movie since I can remember. So
like, has she ever not played a mom? That's what I wonder. Like, I feel like she's played a mom for so long.
And again, this is another woman who's like a absolute professional. Like what a great actor. Like she. Like, even though this is like kind of like a campy comedy Christmas movie, like she brought 110% to it every single time. And she was like, meticulous with what she was doing with her work. And
when she had that wig, the Christmas tree wig, I died.
The tall?
It was so funny. And then there were people on Twitter that were all like, it was a terrible fake wig. And I'm like, it's supposed to be. That's the joke. What's wrong with you?
One, and it was also apparently pretty heavy, because I remember her saying like it was hard on her neck. But yeah.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. Join me, Daisy,
and me, Claire, as we break down the IMDb Bottom 100, choosing a different film from the list every episode.
We take a deep dive into the plot, production, release, and reviews, usually with a special guest, to uncover if these films are truly as bad as everyone says they are.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, and anywhere else you find your podcasts.
Your first scene, she's all flipping out about the snowman.
Yeah.
And she's like, never trust a man with a winning smile. It looked like you were about to laugh.
Oh my God. Okay, so that one thing about this movie is never have I seen on any set, and this isn't to be mean to any other set. I've been on wonderful sets, but it was joyous laughter after they said cut. And clapping after scenes, because like the energy was so good, and everybody was like really nailing it, and so there was clapping, laughter, everything.
It's interesting to hear you have an improv background, because I felt like them trying to get you to break on many occasions.
Yeah.
I think that would be really hard.
The cast,
because they were so funny.
Yeah, the cast, including myself, we were off script often.
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of it made the movie, which was incredible. And I think you can feel kind of like that joy come through a little bit in the movie as well.
Well, it was really refreshing too, because it was one of the later movies of the season. It was on like the second to last weekend, I think, of Christmas movies. And so I think we were all kind of ready for something snarky, for something that wasn't going to take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
So really it was very well timed as well, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie has a little bit of an edge to it.
Yeah, it's sassy.
yeah. Well,
yes.
Gabourey's character likes her drinking, so
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, the eggnog teenies.
Eggnog teenies. Oh my goodness.
The Santa Clausmopolitan.
Oh yeah, good memory. Yeah. There was one more, reindeer something. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll forget.
Yeah. Well, I just rewatched it yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah.
right.
And so then there's a scene where you have to dance like funny, like a robot.
Yes. Yeah.
Did they just say like, go for it, do whatever you want?
Oh, they did. And I'm just a terrible dancer. I was a terrible dancer. Kel, however, is an incredible dancer. And so when that scene was happening, it's like one of the last scenes in the movie. Everybody's like dancing and really going for it. And I'm like, this is not my forte. It's never been my forte. So I had to just go for it. I did the robot. I did some other trademark.
That was a brilliant choice though, because later on she's like, you never told me you were so great at miming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that worked perfect. It's like one of my greatest skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You also have like an epic near kiss. You get so close. What's the mime for I want to kiss you?
Oh, you lean forward and close your eyes. I remember that. Yeah. So close. And they did a special shot on that. That was very nice. But unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that drove me. I was like, what? No. I really also thought Gabby was really funny when she's like, why would you show up in this insane Santa reality of mine? Like that whole rant was really funny.
Yeah, couldn't happen in real life where she needed it.
Yeah, and she's like, just say yes. I can flip my tongue over, and only 1 in 10,000 people could do that.
Yeah. So that was real as well, and that is a real thing she can do. This like clover tongue thing. I can do it kind of too. But
I can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
she
funny.
So that was made up by her, one of her ad-lib lines. She's so great.
Yeah, and then she like destroys the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I again, just because I just watched it last night, but just the someone assaulted a tree, I wouldn't let that person go into the forest.
I made that up, not in the script.
You guys really elevated this, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You made it really
it was
funny.
already a great script, but we did put our own touch on it, our own thing on it for sure.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it was a really fun cast, and working with Gabby was a lot of fun. Did you do any kind of like chemistry read or anything like that before you started?
There was no chemistry read. I was so surprised. I think they were rushed after this person didn't end up going through. So it was basically, I think they had seen my other work, and so they were like, okay, this will fit. I think they must have known, I hope they must have known about like my improv background, so thought that would also fit with the rest of the cast as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she declares that you're a 6 as far as a moderate freaky 6.
Freakiness. Yeah.
So would you give yourself a 6 of freakiness, I guess?
Yeah, I'm not too freaky, to be honest. I've never been a freak, but yeah, maybe a modest 6. I could be convinced to go higher.
Yeah. Well, whether it's a comedy or more of like a romantic comedy, what do you think makes for a great romance?
Chemistry. I think you have to have like good chemistry with your scene partner, and I think both on and off set, because so much of your time spent on these sets is sitting around just talking when nothing's going on, when they're setting up a camera, when they're discussing a scene, when you're just waiting. So being able to, talk to your scene partner and have a laugh, or, be intimate in like a friendship or platonic way, I think that translates on screen as well, because if you can't get along off screen, you're probably not gonna it's probably gonna show on screen.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that is the biggest. I think the banter has to be good. If it's not, and then I can put up with like the most ridiculous plots ever.
Yeah.
If I'm like enjoying the banter. And then the chemistry I think is huge. It can
like you said, like the banter, a lot of the scripts obviously have similar storylines or things like that, and a lot of the dialogue is going to be similar in tone, so it's really up to you as an actor and your partner in the film to like bring those lines to life and make them actually mean something to each other. So that chemistry's got to be there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think you had two pretty good ones last year. They were both entertaining. I look forward to 2023.
I've got at least one in the can for you guys, so I think it's going to be enjoyable.
Well, that's exciting.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
We have some fun holiday questions for you.
Okay, ready.
Okay. First question, what is your favorite holiday drink?
Favorite holiday drink has got to be, it's a classic, and I've loved it ever since I was a kid. It's just a good old hot chocolate with lots of whipped cream.
It's good.
I drink that even now. Yesterday I had one.
Then not a Santa Claus Napolitan?
If someone handed me a Santa Claus Napolitan, I drink it.
Yeah. Those were pretty solid fake drink names. The one that always gets me, there was a Hallmark movie where one of the fake drinks was called the Tiny Tim. And that just, I think, is hilarious, because why would you name your like alcoholic beverage after a child?
After a little child. Hopefully, maybe Tiny Tim has a secret he didn't tell us.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, ridiculous. All right, what is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Apple crumble. It's got to be an apple crumble. Love an apple crumble, or apple pie.
Yeah,
basically anything with apples.
That sounds good. All right, what is your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Oh, it's Little Drummer Boy. It's got to be Little Drummer Boy. I don't know what it is about it. Whenever it came on when I was a little kid, I'd be like, I think it's the
Maybe we can get that 90s R&B.
Yeah, for them to sing it.
Yes. All right, what's your favorite classic Christmas movie?
Classic Christmas movie. Oh my. I know probably a lot of people say like Die Hard or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is a Christmas movie, let's be clear.
I agree it is a Christmas movie.
He literally says ho 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 at one point. There's a Christmas party.
There's decorations.
The whole reason he took the trip was for Christmas.
Yep.
Yes. It's clearly a Christmas movie.
Undeniable. I haven't seen it in so long, but maybe I used to love the Santa Claus. I don't know if it's still held up, But yeah,
Mhm.
the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, I used to love as a kid. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it recently, but I'll say
Well,
that or Die Hard.
I feel like there's some similarities between the Santa Claus and All I Didn't Want for Christmas in a way.
Yeah,
Like the whole lore of the North Pole and the naughty or nice list and
the elves that having
yeah,
fun,
elves,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time either. I was going to because there was that new series, but I just was a little busy during the holidays.
I haven't watched it either, and I'm saying it's my favorite movie, and I haven't watched it. So
Yeah. Okay. Which do you like better, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Like better as far as like character.
Yeah, because they're both like characters who hate Christmas who come around in the end. So
I think Scrooge. There's been so many, I think, iterations of Scrooge that but there's only one Grinch. So I think I like the fact that like there's so many different versions of Scrooge, including Scrooge. Probably Scrooge McDuck is my favorite.
I mean, I guess with Grinch you have like Jim Carrey live action and then you have the animated.
Yes, true.
But yeah, there's so many versions of Scrooge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Scrooge. And I just saw the recent one with Will Ferrell as well.
Wasn't that fun?
It was great.
I loved that movie. I thought it was so fun.
I was not prepared for like how fun and good it was because I'm like, we've kind of seen this a bunch, and so, but then it was wonderful, and I didn't know what I was going to think of like Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds singing, but it was delightful, good song.
Yeah, they went for it as far as that choreography and everything.
Yes.
Like it really felt old fashioned.
Yeah, the Good Afternoon song was, I think, the one that stood out to me.
I know. I was so disappointed it didn't get nominated for Best Song. It was in the short list. It should have. I don't know what that Diane Warren song from a movie nobody has seen.
I don't think I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows
exactly.
It's just that they have to nominate Diane Warren every year for the Oscars. And they couldn't give one to Good Afternoon.
Give one to Will Ferrell.
We would have been able to see it on the stage it would have been so fun.
That would have been great.
Yeah. All right. Well, which do you like better, clear lights or colored?
Ooh. I'm gonna say color. It's more fun.
Yeah. I like the colored on the outside.
Yes. Are we talking on a tree?
Like on the tree, I like clear better. But
okay, I can see that. Yeah.
But it's however you interpret the question.
Yeah. Okay. Because it depends where it is. Because I can see that. On a tree, I could see just having the thing because you want the ornaments to kind of be the standout thing. On the outside of a house, though, I think color is fun.
Yes. Okay. So would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
I haven't done either of those in so long. I'm going to say
Did you have a snowball fight in record breaking?
Did I have No, I don't think so. But I did have a snowball thing in Chasing Christmas. Or wait, no, they changed the title of that movie. I forget what they changed it to. But there was one.
The one that was on Up TV. What was it called?
With Corey
Dashing
Seaver.
Home.
No. Christmas Plus One. Christmas Plus One.
Oh, okay.
I had a snowball aiming contest because sometimes they don't want to do a snowball fight because of insurance. That's a secret.
Yeah, I mean, and then the hard part about building a snowman is that you have to have a lot of snow.
Yes, yeah, and it has to be
really
the perfect kind of snow that really pumps up and rolls. I'm gonna say a snowball fight with friends would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they use those pillow snowmen, which aren't the best.
Oh yeah, it's just like cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a snowball fight with friends, that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd go with.
All right, would you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
Terrible. Absolutely not. I'm not even gonna lie. No. I rush it, and then even when I put my best effort forward, it's tapes everywhere in all the wrong places. I don't think I have the patience.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. I can do a good job if I really focus, but most of the time I'm just like, let's get it done.
Yeah, let's get these gifts out of here.
Yeah. All right, last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
Oh my gosh. I was gonna wear it, but then I got too hot. Give me 1 second. I do. I'm gonna show it to you. I just bought it. I don't think it's that ugly, but it's my favorite. It's this guy right here.
Oh my gosh, that's nice looking.
It's a nice one, but it's my favorite.
Yeah.
And
it does look pretty heavy though.
That's it.
That was a good
I did have a yeah. I put it on. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm talking about Christmas movies, and then I started to sweat.
Yeah, well, that's a nice one. You have to get like a garish one.
Yeah, I need something with like a cheesy pun on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want something with like Yoda on it for no reason or something like
Exactly. Wearing a Santa hat or something.
Well, very good. You answered all the questions.
Thank you.
We hope you keep making Christmas movies because we sure enjoyed them. And so thanks so much for coming on and talking with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I hope I keep making Christmas movies too.
Do you know when your new movie is coming out?
Yes. In Canada, it's coming out at the end of February. It's called The Love Club here. And I believe it's coming out on a major network, a network that I think you're very familiar with, but I cannot say it because of contracts. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
On W Network on Canada. We can say that because they've had an ad for it. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it will be coming out shortly in the United States as well.
And so that one, there's like different pairings, right, for each movie?
Yes, 4 different pairings. Franco's in one of them. I'm in one of them, and my co-star is Chantel Riley, who is absolutely delightful and hilarious.
Nice.
We got along so well, and it's more of of the 4 movies, I'd say it's a more grounded one. It's about coming together as a family. We were already together, so we're not meeting each other. There's no cute meet. It's getting to know each other again. Yeah.
Okay. So are all of you all in each other's movies, or are they all separate? Like, do you make cameos in each other's movies?
Small cameos. But the women, they all make cameos. Like, they're all in every movie as big parts. But the men are mainly just in their own movie.
Yeah. Well, we were all saying that we're like, this is like the Wedding Bell trilogy, but Canada got it better.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll look forward to seeing those when they come to that mysterious network.
Thank you.
Because Brittany Bristow's another favorite of ours. We love her.
Wonderful.
Those.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Very good. Well, thanks so much. Do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
I do. Yes. I'm mainly on Instagram. That's pretty much it. But you can find me at Andrew Bushell on Instagram, and please follow me, and you can keep updated with all my projects there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And we'll definitely have to have you back. This was really fun.
Yes. What a treat. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Okay. Bye. We'd like to thank Andrew for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with him. We had a great time. Let us know what you think about all the different things we talked about. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. If you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, check out the Patreon group and merch store. We really appreciate that. And thanks again to Andrew. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.